back in town.
That's lyrics to a song, right?
Yeah, a very famous one.
And seeing as this is music-flavored podcast, so appropriate.
So appropriate. We're out here for you, putting
Actually,
in the hard
everything
work.
we've ever said are lyrics to songs. And if you don't know the references, you just don't know that much.
Yeah, dude, do your homework, boys. Come on.
Yeah, read more.
But this isn't only a music podcast, Matt. Did you know that? This is also a beer podcast.
Uh-huh.
And I've got a beer for you.
Ooh. Tell me about it. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
See if you hear this. Did you hear that crack?
Damn. That filled me with a sense of great joy to hear that crack.
Gulp.
Slurp.
Slurp.
That's a great beer. This is ASMR now. ASMR. This is Friends ASMR with beer and music.
Psych, this is all ASMR now.
Gotcha. We got you, bitches. I'm sorry, but we got you.
Gotcha.
But I did get. This is one of the last platform beers you can get because they were just bought out by Anheuser-Busch.
But they're still gonna
make it. But this is like the last batch, maybe, that is pure and untainted by corporate dicks. So the dicks have not been dipped in the batter yet. So yeah. But this is a platform beer, originally from Cleveland, and this is their Paranormal Hoptivity. It's a West Coast style IPA, very dry and bright flavored with mild hoppiness. It's not overbearing, so I would recommend it to people who maybe don't like really really hoppy IPAs, but still maybe want to try it. It's a great summer sipping beer, very refreshing. I am enjoying it.
Is it psychedelic, bruh?
No, I would prefer it if you didn't.
Dude, is it psychedelic or
Bro.
what? Dude.
Matt, cut it out. Okay, stop.
Okay. I got Juice Bomb.
Juice Bomb, damn.
Northeastern IPA. So we're on the opposite side of the coast.
Okay, Northeast IPA. A
Nice
little piney.
And unfiltered, so it's juicy and citrusy. American hops.
Woo! I love me some American hops. Has it been easier for you to find craft beer?
No. I think it...
That's very quick to answer.
So Yum was here recently, and his cousin lives here, and his cousin's a big beer guy, and Yum was talking to him, and he was saying it's really hard for New York to get beer because there's like ridiculous taxes on it.
Oh, damn. I didn't even think about
it's expensive for consumers, and it's expensive to sell, so it's just not like very economic friendly, so it's not a big thing here.
So what do you do? How do you get it?
Actually, Trader Joe's has the best options.
Oh, for real?
Of any place.
Is it like $20 for a 6-pack or something?
Oh no, it's actually reasonably priced, which is why I like it too. It's like, $12, 13 or 14, 12 to 14 for something decent.
That's not too bad. It's like $9.99 here for a decent 6-pack.
Right. So it's a little bit more, but there are a few craft beer stores. There are none that are close to me. I have to go like a couple miles to take a train. Jeez. And they're crazy expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like $4 if for each beer if you make your own 6-pack or something like that.
Jesus. Yeah, I take that for granted. I can just like literally walk down to the Giant Eagle or the Kroger here and get a decent unique 6-pack every single time I go there.
It's very convenient.
Yeah.
It is not so.
It's the price you pay.
Price I paid. From the BK.
How how alcoholic is yours? Mine's 7%, so it's not a insignificant amount, to be sure.
Mine's 6.5.
57. I don't know IBUs very well. I should probably look that up. I don't really know what 57 means, but that's what this is.
I believe it's 1 through 100, and it's just the bitterness.
What is a 1? Like a Bud Light, like a Pilsner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think so. Be very minimal.
Yeah. So this is about halfway.
No hops. Yeah, that's pretty solid. I think based on what I've seen.
Is it like a scientific thing? Like, how do you know what an IBU
I don't know.
is?
We should have researched this.
Fuck,
we should do an education section.
At the end, yeah, we'll do like an addendum, like an appendix. Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah. So, just skip to the end of the book, which is a good lesson in life. Just skip to the
end and get the spark notes. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. That'll tell you everything you need to know.
There's I don't know why I thought of this, but there's like this documentary for Star Wars Episode 1 that comes on the DVD, and if you look in the background of George Lucas's office, he has like, rather than books, he has like 40 spark notes like on his bookshelf. Like, what? it's really funny. He like doesn't have time to read. But he just collects spark notes.
To the point. There's now an app or something for that. That's like, you can it'll summarize all the books for you and just like super quickly. So you can. It's like an audio book thing.
Jeez, it like defeats the purpose.
Yeah, so you can get the key takeaways.
Yeah.
In like 10 minutes from a whole collection of books. Like, dude, that's just spark notes.
Yeah,
just branding it better.
I don't want to watch Game of Thrones. I'll read the Wikipedia. It's about the same, right?
It is mostly the same.
Okay. So does that conclude our beer segment, sir?
Yes.
You got anything else to say? All right. That's probably the longest beer segment we've done, honestly. I'm sorry that we've failed you on that front, fans and friends. We're trying our best out here. Honestly, I've been moving away from the beers. I've been drinking more whiskeys again. I think I like come and go with it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that coming, but
maybe we should do a whiskey special.
Ooh, a whiskey special.
We were just in Louisville.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have done a remote recording. From Huff. That would have been cool.
Inside the Angel's Envy bar that we weren't allowed to drink at.
Not there. I felt so out of place.
Yeah, no.
My tank top and shorts.
They were like, this will riffraff.
And Vans.
Yeah. Get him out of here.
The dudes are wearing button-down shirts and strong cologne.
It's smelled in there. Okay. There's a tip for you guys if you ever want to go on the bourbon trail. Dress well, or they'll kick your ass right out of there.
Yeah, it's sad but true. I wonder if there must be like the Jack Daniels or something that's way more laid back, right?
I'm sure it is, but yeah. I think Angel's Envy is a bit posh, to be honest. But it is good. It is good whiskey. It's good bourbon. Anyway. No more tangents here. We're going straight in, and this is a special episode. We don't really have kind of like a specific topic. I think we're just gonna talk about things that interest us, riff back and forth, just sort of have a conversation with no real goal, honestly, just to talk music.
Yeah, we're calling it Freeform.
Freeform.
Is that official?
I like that. Yeah, it's the Freeform
just
podcast.
Buzzing around.
Yeah.
Questions, some thought-provoking stuff.
Yeah, and you guys can write in the comments what you think about all your hot takes, your good opinions.
And we're trying to get to all the comments that you guys are leaving.
We're doing our best.
To every single one, we're doing our best. It's just a huge volume, and it's hard to keep up. You know, we have pretty busy schedules.
Yeah. We did just hire a secretary, though.
And her only job is to
read,
respond to comments. So she's going to be great.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
So we've got like our first topic here. What are the last 5 songs you've listened to, Matt?
So basically,
Or I guess
on
maybe not
Big
the last
Cat-
5 songs, or the last. I guess we changed it to the last 5 songs that we've liked on Spotify, or maybe like individually have listened to.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
little bit easier.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
it's not just like 5 songs from an
Yeah,
album. Okay, I will read them off right now. So these are the last 5 songs that I liked on Spotify.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bebecita by Carol G. I don't. That just showed up in my recommendations. I know nothing about it, so I don't really have anything to say about it. Millionaria by Rosalia. I don't know if you listened to. She just had like a 2 song.
I have not actually heard anything recently from her.
Yeah, I think it came out just maybe in July at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Just 2 songs on there. This one is in Catalan, so it's not Spanish.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting.
It's
Most
really
people in Spain speak both, or is it only people
No.
from Catalan, or do most people even speak it at all?
No, yeah, no one speaks it except for people in Catalan, like
Yeah.
Barcelona area, and it's closer to Italian than Spanish.
Okay.
It's kind of a blend of Portuguese, Italian, French, and Spanish. So there are some words that are similar enough that I can understand, but a lot of it is completely incomprehensible.
Okay.
And, like even a Spanish-speaking, like native Spanish speaker wouldn't understand. It's pretty different.
Interesting. Is she from there?
Yeah, she's from Barcelona.
Okay, that makes sense then. Is it more of a pop song, or is it more of
Oh, it's very pop song.
Okay, that's kind of like the direction she's been in.
Yeah,
Basically.
she's blown up. She's huge now.
She's gigantic. She's like the Latino pop princess, essentially. Like broke boundaries and barriers across like the Latin world to now like in the West, essentially.
Yeah, and totally different direction, but it's a really catchy song. It's a good pop song. She's a good pop song writer now too.
Yeah. No, I like almost everything that I've heard her release.
So that's that. My number 3 is Anna by the Menzingers, the
Nice.
single that they dropped. I did that one's really been stuck in my head a lot. I've been listening to
Yeah,
it.
it's almost like a throwback. It's a classic. It's just a classic Menzingers sound and lyrics and just feel.
Yeah, and the chorus is so catchy.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And that's kind of what made me jump on board with. I've been listening to the Menzingers a lot recently too. Just I think that may have been the sort of diving board spot.
Impetus.
Yeah, the impetus to do that. The jumping off point is what I was looking for. That's the words.
Yeah, them's the word.
The diving board spot is not actually a phrase, believe it or not.
The diving board, point that you dive off.
Yeah, you know that diving board.
Yeah, but I dove once. At the deep end. I wasn't scared.
The deep end.
Yeah, it was 12 feet. I'm not trying to brag about it. I'm just telling you how it is.
Mom, look at me. Ma.
Mom, watch. You're not watching.
Ma. Okay. Was that 3?
Yeah, that was 3.
Okay.
Number 4, Make It Easy by Big Crit. And actually, my number 5 is from the same album, I've Been Waiting by Big Crit.
You like the Big Crit album.
Yeah, Crit is here. I didn't like it as much as Forever is a Mighty Long Time. But I like Big Crit. He's real good, man. He's got the chopped and screwed vocals, which is kind of like a throwback style. It kind of reminds me of Graduation and Kanye. So, and he's got a real nice flow. Talks about some interesting things. He's not like a big storyteller, but it's kind of like inspirational stuff. It's motivating. It's like it's fun, like good stuff to listen to.
Yeah. So, and this is a little off topic, but speaking of new rap, I feel like we have to at least throw in Chance the Rapper's "The Big Day," which at first I thought people were clowning on him a bit too harsh. Like it wasn't that bad, but like the song "Hot Shower" is literally the worst song I've heard this entire year, if not several years. I can't believe that it exists and that it was produced and put onto a major like record release.
Savage. You should have called this album The Big Flop.
Oh, you.
Sick.
Sick burn. I love my wife. But anyway, there's not much more to be said about that album that hasn't already, but just talking about rap made me think about like just that song is so stupid. If you haven't heard it, put it on, you're like, Jesus Christ, Chance.
It's so funny. I was talking to Encore yesterday,
mm-hmm.
and he said everyone that he's talked to really likes that album.
Really? Who the fuck is he talking to?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't know. It's been pretty universally panned, even from most outlets.
Yeah. But this is kind of like a bit of a tangent,
mm-hmm.
But maybe as an interesting discussion point. I mean, it seems it's doing like well, like in terms of listens, I assume.
Yeah, it's probably getting
it's
streams.
popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure it's getting streams, which is in part due to his popularity. Doesn't mean that it's great, but there's still that disconnect between like criticism and it's just like okay, this is like music comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
It's like McDonald's of food maybe, but if it's ubiquitous and people get something out of it, there's nothing wrong with that.
You can, and that's one thing, like, and I think you agree with this too, but like as people who like get into music and like music a lot, it's like I hate people who do that but also will shit on other people's like things that they like. It's like it's like I can think that the album's bad, sure. But if somebody else likes it, I'm not going to like tell them that they're shitty for liking that song or that album. It's like, yeah, you can like what you like, but I will have a differing opinion from you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that, and that's some good life advice for you listeners too. Just not even music in general. Just let people be. Just let them be.
Let them be. Let the kids play. Let them play, Rob. Dude, I can't. Oh man.
What?
I'm echoing right now. Do you hear that?
You're echoing. Slight technical delay there, folks, but we are back.
About that. What I was going to say, what I was very excited to say was that I want to be a dad just so I can yell at refs at soccer game. That's the only reason.
That's a great, I think that's why about most people get into fatherhood.
Uh-huh.
It gives you an excuse to yell at people.
At adults.
At other adults,
kids.
Yeah.
Usually kids are refereeing these games.
Oh, yeah, fuck those kids. Just yell at them.
Yeah. Spit on them. They're stupid.
You say spit on them?
No.
Spit on them.
Do that too.
Okay. All right. So, was that your 5 songs, Matt? Okay.
Yep.
So for me, I honestly don't really like singular songs. I usually will just like the whole album. So I'll go down the last 5. Like I'll do a single song from the last 5 albums that I've liked. So I've been getting into this. He's a very prolific and famous jazz guitarist named John Scofield, and I've been getting into him at the behest of my guitar teacher, as we've been learning a lot of jazz, and I've been trying to like fill my brain with different runs and phrases and how to like the greats do jazz guitar essentially. And I like this guy is like 60 something years old. He's been around for quite some time, and this album. There's a song. The album is called Uber Jam, and the song that I've chosen is called "I Break for Monster Booty." It's like this like old bald white guy and like playing jazz guitar, and I just thought that title was really funny. The next album is The Meters, self-titled album, The Meters, and they're like a New Orleans funk band. From this album came out in 1969, and I was sort of inspired by Quentin Tarantino's new movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I was like, I want to listen to some 60s like funky shit, and the song Sissy Strut on that one is really, really, it's like I love putting it on and just working. It's like very bouncy and upbeat and just kind of like drives forward. The whole album is great. Listen to it. Next song is by the kind of sludgy metal band, The Body, and the song is "To Carry the Seeds of Death Within Me." And
that's a beautiful.
Yeah, they're a little try hard with the song titles, but I don't know, if you like kind of sludgy metal, I would recommend this album or that song. Next one, speaking of Chance the Rapper, he released acid rap on streaming services. So I did like acid rap on Spotify, and shit, man, that whole album is great. It's been nice revisiting
what a tragic, just straight skydive, basically.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like
that was maybe dramatic. It's been a steady declining quality from acid rap.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. What would you say your favorite song off that album is?
Ooh.
I like Paranoia a lot, honestly. And they
Cocoa
split.
Butter Kisses is good.
Cocoa Butter Kisses is good.
I don't.
Juice isn't on here,
My...
but I wish it was.
Yeah.
Juice is awesome.
No, Juice is on acid rap.
Well, it is, but not on Spotify. They, for some reason, weren't able to get the rights for it.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like,
wait, it's
rather
right here, it won't play.
If you play
it's 30 seconds.
If you play it, he's like, sorry, we couldn't get the song on here. Yeah.
Oh, just the samples that it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
My favorite is Smoke Again with the Absol.
That's also a great. Like, it's just a great album in general. It was fun to go back and re-listen to it. And the last song, this is by a band called Mineral. They're like one of the forefathers of like 90s emo rock. Like in the sort of, you can almost consider them in the same page as American football, as like how influential they were, but they're I think a lot less famous than American football is. And I've liked their second album a lot, but I never really listened to their first album, The Power of Failing. And actually, this one has grown on me so much that I actually prefer it to their second, which I used to listen to a ton. And the song, honestly, all the songs on here are really good, but if I could pick like one to listen to, just the first track, 5, 8, and 10 is really great. You should check out the whole album though. But that song is just a good sort of single if you wanted to listen to that.
Righteous.
Mm-hmm. And those are my 5 songs.
I dig me some Mineral, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, they're great. I wish they're actually on a reunion tour, but they're like not in America like at all. At least the coming up tour dates. It's all, I think, in Europe or like South America or something. But I was pretty bummed to see that they weren't even going to be near here at all, because I would definitely drive out to see that.
Yeah, maybe they will later. Maybe they'll announce more dates.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. They're like the grandfathers of a lot of music that we've listened to
lately. Just the wee lads. All right, next topic.
Hit me with it.
Topic destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So did that cover like last albums that we listened to?
Well, I mean, to some extent, there were some that I had already liked, but I've been re-listening to. I'll just jump in and say, Chamberlain Waits. Matt, you and I had been talking about this before, but and when I was saying like the jump off point for Menzingers, but that was like one of their albums I never really gave a chance to. I listened to it here and there, but never like just sat down and listened to it. But damn, it's really been blowing my mind. It's like I think I told you earlier. It's like I got a brand new Menzingers album that I wasn't expecting to get, and it really like resonated and clicked with me for whatever reason on this listening, and it's basically been on repeat for me this entire week. So that's kind of been like the last album that I've listened to, definitely like a lot.
That's pretty cool. I would say I've been listening to I Love You, It's a Fever Dream. A little bit. It was a little while ago that I was really on it, by The Tallest Man on Earth. Okay. But I was on a kind of a binge on that one for a little while.
Is that an older album or a newer one?
No, that's new. I think I'd have to see what month it came out. I want to say May.
Okay.
Or June. So pretty recent.
That's an artist I've never really got into. What is he Is he like a singer-songwriter, acoustic?
Singer-songwriter,
Okay.
mostly acoustic.
Okay.
His old stuff is all him and guitar, maybe harmonica. But it's just it's kind of his playing style. Well, I mean, especially if depends what you're kind of been into guitar-wise, but he's a great guitarist, and it's a very distinct style.
Okay, so it's not just like cowboy chords and stuff. He actually plays pretty interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you would appreciate it from a musicianship. Help me.
Musicianship.
Yeah, that. You'd appreciate it from that standpoint.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
The other album I've been listening to recently is I've been listening to a lot of Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
And Cushion Orange Juice is obviously my favorite one.
Obviously.
But he also has this Star Power mixtape that's not on Spotify.
Interesting.
But it's just kind of like out there.
Is that like an older mixtape that he cut?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's older. He put it's on SoundCloud actually. You can listen to it there.
I didn't know. Is Wiz Khalifa still like in the zeitgeist now? I haven't honestly heard from him in a while.
Like putting out.
Yeah, he was like huge like earlier for us in college, like early 2010s.
Yeah, we might not be the target audience anymore. It might be still that kind of younger college generation that's listening to.
What do the Zoomers listen to these days? What's big for them? If you're a Zoomer and you're listening to this, leave us a comment because I'm confused and I need to know.
And help us.
I guess Billie Eilish probably. That she's the big hot name right now.
Yeah, Billie. Leave a comment. Tell us what you're
Billie.
listening to.
Billie. I know you're listening. Just please leave a comment. All right, for God's sake.
Is Billie a man or a woman?
If you have to ask, you don't want to know.
Okay. Good. I'll go.
If we're doing another album, I've been listening. This is another one that I had liked for a long time, but am getting back into because for some reason, the topic of Norwegian black metal keeps coming into my life for one reason or another.
Okay.
And so
I won't ask.
But kind of one of the seminal black metal albums is Burzum's, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce this, but Philosophem or Philosophem. Correct me, Billy, in the comments if I got that wrong. But it's definitely one of the like biggest
the album art.
Yeah, the album art
awesome.
is pretty sweet. It's so dark, and it's like I've listened to it in the car, and there's like always in like every song there's like just static almost in like across like on the bottom layer of like every like recording, and it like makes you deaf when you listen to it. It's like insane, but it's another funny thing. If you don't know much about like the original Norwegian death metal scene, it is a trip to read about or to learn about. These guys were actually like, some people like act like they're hard musicians or they're Satan worshippers or stuff, but these guys like literally were, and they like burned down church, like ancient. They were horrible people. They like burned down like 2,000-year-old Christian churches and like fucking killed each other and stuff. Like ate brains. It made necklaces out of like their friends' skulls who'd like killed themselves. It's insane. Like it's a very kind of if you're into like true crime, like just check that out. Do some reading about the early Norwegian black metal days, and it's pretty insane.
I am definitely interested in that.
Yeah, there's what's the podcast? 1 second. I'm pulling up my podcast right now.
I want to read about that.
Yeah.
I love to read like random niche things like that.
Mm-hmm. The podcast is shit. I'll edit this in later. Which one it is.
Disgraced Land.
All right. Should we move on?
Right. Yeah, moving on. Next topic. So I thought of this one because I've been seeing a lot of things. Mm-hmm. It's the 50th anniversary of Woodstock '69, and just the
speaking of '69,
question. Oh yeah, speaking of which, Norwegian death metal ties right into this.
Were they invited to Woodstock?
I hope so.
They were babies at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'm derailing.
Yeah.
I'm derailing. I'm sorry.
I guess my straightforward question was, does Woodstock matter to you?
Honestly, my honest answer was just LOL no when you sent me this. But I think we're too young, honestly. It was never a big thing for our generation unless you were maybe super into 60s and 70s rock, like and continue to be so.
Yeah. Were you ever into
Woodstock?
I
mean, maybe not Woodstock, but I was huge into like Jimi Hendrix and like his musical contemporaries.
Of those performances?
I have, actually. It's been quite some time. But I mean, it is insane to look at and see that was a thing. Like, I honestly don't know if anything like that will ever happen again. And it is like a cultural landmark in American history. But honestly, I can recognize it for what it is, but it's not. It doesn't keep me up at night or anything.
I feel you. Mm-hmm. Let's say I used to really like to watch the Carlos Santana performance.
Yeah.
He was so young then. He was like 18 or something.
Holy crap, for real?
Yeah.
I've never seen really that. Young. Was he able to like shred was he just like shredding like crazy even as an 18-year-old?
They're just jamming. Mm-hmm. It's just like they're just like jamming. It's so cool. It's so good. But then there's the whole so the one this year got canceled. Were they trying to they were trying to revive
Are they trying to?
Right?
I don't think I think it was like too expensive or something, or like the major donors like backed out, or I'm not sure if it's going to happen. But honestly, it just sounded like we're so flooded with big music festivals. Yeah, it's almost like what makes this one special beyond just the name of Woodstock. And the lineup that they pushed out like made people groan a bit, and it's I just don't think it's a good idea.
No. Mm-hmm. And the Woodstock 99
it's like tainted by that as well.
Has ruined it for all of us.
I remember as a kid, I was 7 at the time, I guess, when Woodstock 99, and like watching like news reports about it, and it like legitimately scared me. That was like the first time I'd been like exposed to some of I don't know, violent imagery or like kind of disturbing shit that was going on there. It just looked like a massive like riot of people constantly, and like I do remember being afraid of Woodstock 99 when I was 7. So
I've been seeing just like content about Woodstock stuff, and there's another podcast, I can't remember the name, that's covering just Woodstock 99 and everything that went wrong. It's pretty crazy to listen or read about just how ridiculous it was, and it's crazy that kind of music was so mainstream that there were that many people there.
Was it mainly like kind of pop punk at the time? Was that what it was?
It was like new metal.
Oh, it was new metal. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like Korn and stuff were playing probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's pretty wild.
New metal.
It's so crazy to think about.
Speaking of new metal, I've kind of like changed my tune a bit about it. I've been re-listening to a lot of System of a Down. Lately.
Well, System of a Down. I mean,
they're not quite new metal. They're kind of their own. They went their own way.
They're great.
They're definitely great. And don't let anybody tell you differently, because people will be like, dude, you listen to System of a Down, only like the loser reject kids in high school listen to that. I'm like, shut up. They're good.
Aw. It's so sad.
But also, like, early, like, the Korn's first album, like, you should listen to that if you haven't lately. It's not too bad.
It's a really, like, interesting genre, honestly.
Like, I think I think a bunch of, like, kind of losers got into it, and like, Limp Bizkit got, like, we don't have to go into too much of that, but, like, it became sort of a parody of itself. But, right. But would you consider like Linkin Park to be new metal? Like, I think they're new metal.
They are kind of like, again, on the periphery.
Yeah.
Probably people would lump them in there.
Yeah, and I still love Linkin Park.
Yeah.
But yeah, Woodstock. Yeah, Woodstock. I could care less if it happened, because I don't really want to go to music festivals that much anyway, especially if there's like 10,000 people there or more.
Oh God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's definitely the going part. It's not appealing.
Yeah, you got to camp out and like it does not sound too enjoyable to me personally.
Okay, new topic. Moving out.
Favorite musical score. Are we gonna do this one?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
give it a
I
shot.
So I think as an entirety, and this maybe like, I mean, it's a cliche answer because it's so true, at least for me, and it's the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" score. It won a Grammy. I think it won Album of the Year that year. It was so good.
That's legit.
It like, I think without that score, that movie would not be as good as it is. I think that's one of the rare instances where a movie score like enhances a movie so much that it like literally couldn't exist without it. Essentially, it would be an entirely different work. And I love all those the songs on that album. They nailed the time period perfectly, and the sound and the aesthetic and everything. It's perfect. And if you haven't listened to it, go check it out. Great kind of like southern bluegrassy folky music. Really perfect.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So a few came to mind just off the top of my head. And I mean, kind of just like straight up songs.
Mm-hmm.
Lion King.
Oh yeah, how could I forget? How could I forget about just musicals in general? You're right.
Yeah,
I did not know that those were on the table. Okay,
the songs in Lion King are just bangers.
Did you see the new one?
Not yet, no. But I will.
What's your favorite Lion King song?
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Oh,
did you
like the slow jam
performance of it, like his interpretation of it?
I don't know if I've ever seen
tears.
it.
That's
was
tears
that a chef?
time.
Was that a chef's kiss I heard over there? Mwah.
That's tears every time, dude.
Dude, I can get on board with that, but the one that Scar sings, "Be Prepared," like.
That's good.
And you know what I heard? I heard
such
they cut it out of the
strong.
new movie, or at least they like shortened it to some extent, or maybe it wasn't even in there at all. But that's
the
a
new
travesty.
movie and I'll tell you. That is
Okay.
a travesty.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll see if it works in the new one or not.
Okay.
And then as far as like just scores that create an ambiance and feel, Lord of the Rings is obviously
that's like
tremendous.
classic.
Like,
I owned those like on CD. I liked them so much.
Yeah, that's wild. And that's the kind of music that will put you into that movie like immediately
exactly.
as soon as you hear it.
And that's another one like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," where imagine if that like soundtrack didn't exist and it was just kind of a standard fare sort of high fantasy music. Like it really does, like that music and Lord of the Rings just go together. It's like you can't separate the two.
Right. Yeah, it makes everything so much more impactful.
Yeah.
I would say similarly, The Dark Knight.
I can't
really
remember
great
The
too.
Dark Knight. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Cool. It's a lot of just strings and kind of like spooky, like building suspense.
Yeah. Is it kind of like ambient music?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nothing over the top. It's not in the same vein as Lord of the Rings where it's forefront. It's really in the background, but it really creates a lot of drama and suspense and builds tension for sure. I'd say it's a big part of the movie. And then lastly, I wanted to mention It Follows.
Oh shit! I still need to watch that.
Oh, you haven't seen? I thought you saw.
No, I haven't. But I mean, Encore and Rose both keep telling me like we should watch it sometime. So
yeah, the score is incredible in that movie. It makes the movie. Honestly, it wouldn't be the same without it.
Yeah.
I should have bought it on vinyl when I saw it, but I didn't.
Oh damn! I actually have it.
Yeah.
Did you ever? Is it like 90s music or like 80s music, or is it entirely like
no? It's just
composed.
I think it's entirely composed,
like for the movie. Okay.
Yeah, obviously not sure on that. But it's kind of it's unique because a lot of scary movies are pretty straightforward, like spooky music coming in when something spooky's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit like offbeat, like keeps you.
It's like unnerving.
Yeah, unnerving because it kind of doesn't follow the same formula.
Yeah.
It comes in a different way, different pattern, different timing. It's really
Weird.
interesting. It's a big part of the movie.
Yeah, I would love
sure.
to see that. Now that I know that the soundtrack is so good.
You definitely need to.
Then that kind of reminded me that I had forgotten about this. There's another horror movie called The Witch. It's like VV-itch, like the Vitch. And they invented an instrument for that soundtrack to make like spooky noises. Yeah, it's like a weird. You like play it with a bow, like a violin bow, and there's all these like weird appendages that come off of it, and it's like all like ambient, creepy noise. And yeah, the dude who composed the soundtrack like invented this instrument like specifically to make like spooky woods, like spooky noises from the woods, essentially, and like unsettling sounds. And it's really interesting.
Freaking wild,
yeah.
dude. Okay, definitely gonna watch that now,
dude. It's a good movie. It's a slow burn. It's not like, and there's no like jump scares or anything. Like it's
interesting.
Just very, very unsettling.
Side tangent. I love horror movies.
Yeah.
Anything that's different too, that doesn't follow the same kind of slasher formula.
And now's
Although
I feel like now's
slasher.
kind of like a golden age of unique horror movies. I think a lot of directors
People are getting back into the directors that were influenced by the slashers, the Friday the 13th movies are trying to put a twist on it.
Yeah, I used to hate scary movies, but yeah, I think now that these newer ones are coming out and they're so good, I really have like changed my thinking about it. And like, a horror movie can be nice to watch, or maybe not nice, but like a fun time or like an exciting time.
Yeah, such an interesting genre. It had that period where it became so like formulaic, and then
maybe
Scary Movie came out.
Yeah, it's just to make fun of it.
Scary movies and that, and people are like, oh, okay,
yeah,
not gonna do that anymore.
And then there was the whole trend of like the Hostel movies, where basically it was just like torture porn. Like I never had any interest in watching those. Saw, yeah. But now I think we're back to like just genuinely like kind of scary, unnerving, unsettling shit happening to people. Now we're a movie podcast too, guys.
Yeah, now we are. Very important.
And speaking of sort of a scary movie that came out, this is like a sci-fi horror movie, and it unfortunately did not do very well at all. Like it tanked, it bombed in the box office. But it's called Annihilation. It was one of Barack Obama's favorite movies of 2017. So if his opinion means anything, you should check it out. And it stars Natalie Portman. And there's a song at the very end, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a song at the very end that's like composed for this, and it's like the most like bizarrely alien, insane. It like makes the final act of the movie what it is. It's another thing that's like, without that music, it would be a lesser scene, but it's whoever scored that, like I have to clap to them, because I own that movie. I like it so much, and I'll just watch like that last scene just to hear that the music that goes on. It's probably, even though I haven't seen it, follows. It might be similar to that, where it's just like very unsettling and unnerving and like kind of like crazy, and you hear it and you can't. It like makes you feel like the scene. It like pulls you into the scene essentially.
That's awesome. Don't forget, people, we are an ASMR, movies, beer, then music,
and friendship. Don't forget.
How do you feel about, I guess, what I would call these kind of new age musicals? Guardians in the Galaxy, Baby Driver. Where the music is a big part of the movie.
That's interesting. Dude, I loved Baby Driver when we saw it. I had no idea what it was even going to be, but I just knew that it got good reviews. And that I think that it did it better than Guardians of the Galaxy, like just kind of incorporating the soundtrack into what was going on, because it kind of was like, it was plot relevant. He was always listening to music, and it was so cool how everything timed up with like the beats of the song.
The director did that frame by frame, like by hand.
Oh, for real?
Okay, at like 1 hour and 15 minutes and 30 seconds, this happens on the screen, and this song begins playing.
Yeah.
And he like wrote it down. He timed everything. Like,
I mean,
by
that's why it
hand.
probably was so good, because he took the time to like painstakingly make that happen.
Yeah. The other thing I like about that movie is it's basically the entire plot is just a Menzinger song.
Wait, explain.
It's a guy who drives a muscle car and steals a waitress from a diner.
You're very
and takes her away.
I forgot. I kind of forgot the plot about
So, like,
the waitress.
Mexico.
You're right, dude. They should like recut it, but with like Menzinger songs instead.
It would be maybe too on point, maybe too much of one thing.
That's hilarious. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
new. Yeah, just new.
Second beer.
New Menzinger's coming out in October, if you haven't heard. So that's only a couple months away.
Big news.
Mm-hmm.
Exclusive news right here.
Exclusive news. You heard it here first.
Yep. Please cite.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you want to do this one? If you could go back in time to see any artists, who would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say, but I did say, like, when I was thinking about it, it's like, it would be cool to go back in time and see, like, Elvis, or to see Nirvana, or, like, whatever. Jimi Hendrix. But, like, in a way, you can get a similar feeling from that. Yeah, there's video, and you can go see another, like, great musician who's still alive and get probably a similar vibe. But what you can't get is, like, a famous composer like Mozart, or like a Bach or something playing or conducting, I guess. And just to like be there in that time period with like all like the dandies, the rich people and stuff. And I think that like literally that does not exist anymore. Like you can go to the symphony, but it's not like the pomp and circumstance around it. I think, at least from what we see in like movies and stuff, like I would just love to actually be like in that movie Amadeus. Like I would love to just actually be in that room at the time, like if when he was conducting or playing music or whatever. It would be insane.
Imagine going to like a posh like party where Mozart was there.
Yeah,
there's a piano. He's just like, oh, Mozart, you should like totally play something for us, dude.
Dude, play that one again. Play that good one.
play that banger. Play that bop.
Dude, you sound like Butthead. Hey, Mozart.
Mozart.
Hey. Come to Butthead, Mozart. But yeah, I mean, I really don't. I'm no expert in classical music, so I really can't say much more beyond that. But I just thought that would be cool to do. Did you have an answer?
No, I think you gave the correct answer.
Okay, well, I'm glad I'm right.
Yeah, because I was trying to think of, is there like any other historical like musicians, like not in Western culture that I really know of. I'm sure in other cultures,
like in Asia or something.
Yeah, there's like some old classical music and musicians that were legendary.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know enough about like
I don't.
like ancient, like not ancient, but like historical music from basically like everything we know is taught is from the West.
Right.
I can't really think of any from Asia or like Africa or.
But I think that's the right answer, because you want to go back in time to see what the entire like feeling and experience of being in that moment would be like, because you don't, like you said, you don't have any reference points to it. Like it's just all written records.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no video or audio even really, and even Mozart is just written like we don't have a recording of him playing it.
Yeah,
it's just an interpretation, someone else's interpretation. That's pretty wild to think about.
Yeah, it's just to on it, like this obviously will never happen, but yeah, it would be like such a unique and one of a kind experience to actually know like what that was like.
Yeah. So you nailed it. Good job. You passed.
Thanks,
nice.
Bro. Thanks, bro. Oh shit! Sorry, I dropped my phone with my notes. So we're at the 50-minute mark. Should we save the rest for Freeform number 2, or
Sure.
okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. That we don't like to go over like an hour really.
Call it a wrap.
Call it a wrap. I think that was fun. It was fun not to like have to be on topic and just kind of bounce around. I liked it.
Yeah, it was very. I don't know how you would say it. Maybe freeform.
Ooh.
Oh,
Good answer. Good answer.
good answer. Good
Yeah.
answer.
Billy, let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, Billy. Yeah, we haven't heard from you in a little while.
I'm getting
used
worried.
to comment on all the early podcasts.
Yeah, don't forget your
We're
roots.
just checking in on you.
Don't
We
forget
wanna
your
make sure
roots,
that you're
Bill.
Okay.
Come on, Bill.
Yeah, and we're paying you to do this. So
All right. Well,
Rita, our secretary, is standing by to reply to your comments.
Rita.
That's the most secretary name I can think of.
You sexist pig.
I know.
All right. This is FTMB over and out.
Peace out, y'all.